This is your Anxiety Toolkit, episode number 72. Welcome to Your Anxiety Toolkit. I'm your host, Kimberly Quinlan. This podcast is fueled by three main goals. The first goal is to provide you with some extra tools to help you manage your anxiety. Second goal, to inspire you. Anxiety doesn't get to decide how you live your life. And number three, and I leave the best for last, is to provide you with one big, fat virtual hug. Because experiencing anxiety ain't easy. If that sounds good to you, let's go. Okay, welcome back everybody. I'm so thrilled to have you here with me. Today, we are going to talk about the best free mindful tool. And what I mean by free is it's available to you all the time. By free, I'm meaning it doesn't cost you anything financially, of course, as most of the mindfulness tools do. But this is something I really want to sort of like, if I was a marketing company, this is the one I would really go double down on with like, it's free and it's awesome and it's amazing and it's where so much of our growth comes in. So let me sort of frame on why I've chosen this as this week's episode is people are often reaching out to me saying, here is this issue I have. I know you've told me to sit with the feeling and I know you've told me to practice willingness and non-judgment and all of these tools, but is there something else that I am missing or is there something else you could give me? Do you have any special tips and tools for this? And the truth is we are so blessed that there are so many science-proven treatment modalities and so many mindful tools and some amazing mindful teachers that we have access to help us with anxiety and depression. However, I really felt this strong pull today to do a podcast to bring us back to one of the most important tools. We can use it anytime we want. It is the best tool in terms of its availability and how available it is to us. And yeah, I'm just super excited to share it with you. However, you may actually already be cluing on to what I'm talking about here. But in the meantime, before I talk about the actual tool, I want to talk about it a little abstractly at first. Just for a second, I promise it will make sense. So just stay with us and hear me out. So I want you to kind of come with me on a walk and I want you to sort of imagine this situation playing out. So let's say I want to be the best mom I can be. You guys know I have children and I really actually do want to be the best mom, right? In fact, I want my daughter and my son to think I am the most freaking awesome parent ever. If I could get it, that's what I would want, right? But this is the thing that I myself get caught up in, and I'm guessing you do, whether you do this specifically if you're a parent or you do it metaphorically, is we want to be the best. We want genuinely, intentionally, we want to be the best. But wanting to be the best doesn't automatically mean that my daughter and I are going to be best friends. And it doesn't guarantee that we're going to have a good relationship. It doesn't even guarantee that she's even going to like me as a human. The only way I can be a freaking amazing mother and to make an impact on her heart and her well-being, to make that deep impact, I'm going to have to nurture her. I'm going to have to really nurture our relationship. It's not automatic. Just because I'm her mom doesn't mean I get a pass. That doesn't automatically make me the best mom, right? I'm going to have to nurture that relationship. I'm going to have to hear her pain when she's sad. I'm going to have to actually sit with her in the really, really hard moments. I'm going to have to hold her hand and be really compassionate when she makes mistakes, because she will, right? And I'm going to have to wipe her tears when she cries. And I'm going to have to not deny her anger and her sadness and her brattiness because, we all are bratty. That's just a fact. But I'm going to have to really be with her. That's what we have to do to be really rock star moms and dads. Now, disclaimer here, I don't want you guys to fall into a pit of shame right now because you're not doing all those things for your children if you're a parent, because it's really, really hard and I'm not perfect at it either, right? But I'm just talking about it in terms of what we need to lean towards if we want to have this really strong, deep, nurtured relationship, right? For me to be an amazing mom, what I can't do is I can't cheat. And I can't do it the quick way. As easy and enticing as that is, we can't cheat, right? She's not going to think I'm an amazing mom just because I buy her the new iPad or because I buy her the best clothes, or even if I hired the best nanny to take care of her. Now, those things are great and they will make my child happy for the short term. But those things won't result in a really good relationship with my daughter in the long term. She won't feel deeply loved by me. She won't feel deeply seen by me. And therefore, she won't feel worthy of my love or of my being, my experience with her or my presence with her. If I want to have a lasting and healthy relationship with my child or my partner or my boss or my family member, it could be any person that you have a relationship with, we actually have to sit with them, be with them. We're not going to disown them because they acted up one day or that they were naughty or that they were being kind of bratty and bitchy. And when it comes to our relationships, we can't just leave it to the nanny. Let's say I can't leave it to the nanny to fix things when she's angry or she's not cleaning her room or she's having a hard time. I can't buy her a trip to Disneyland and send her off with the nanny to Disneyland for the day and expect that she'll feel loved by me just because I bought it and paid for it and arranged it, right? If I did that, all she would understand is that I'm going to be there to be with her when she's good and it's easy. And she's going to feel like she's not worthy of having a difficult time or difficult emotions or of being around me, right? That's where lack of worth can sometimes be supplanted, right? And so this is where our growth comes in with our relationships, in the actual being with them. And this is the lesson. You can't cheat. You actually have to do the being with. Think of that as the quote, unquote. You actually have to do the being with in order to have a relationship with this person. Now, here's the lesson for us, because this is not a lesson on how to be a good parent. Although it kind of is. Things don't have to be perfect. We just have to sit with each other through their pain. But this is where the lesson is for us, which is we are no different. All we want is to be deeply understood. All we want is to be deeply sat with or being with. All we want is to feel deeply seen. And this can be one of the most healing emotions and experiences that we can be given. So here is where we come to the tool that I'm talking about, which is that it's your breath. You have to spend time with it. It's the life source of us. It's the true nature of us. And here's the question. Do you try to cheat when it comes to actually spending time with you, yourself, and deeply sitting with your experience? My guess is you're saying no, because I think we all have to say no to that. None of us truly honor our own existence by honoring the breath and to actually sit and be with it when it's hard. I think that we try to find ways to do it the fast way. we try and find ways to do it the quick, easy way instead of actually doing the being with. So I use that story and I talk about this idea or example of going to Disneyland. You know, me paying for my daughter to go to Disneyland with the nanny isn't going to actually create any love. It's just me filling in a little hole for that person. But we have to stop filling in holes for ourselves too. So we have to give up looking for the supercharged mindfulness tools because they're not going to work if that's what you're looking for. What we want to do is spend time with the breath and the sensations that we have and really be with them. And through that, you will be shocked. And I will say to you, you will gain a sense of worth by practicing being with your breath because it's you honoring you. It's you being with you. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a meditation just on the breath. And I want you to use this time as the beginning of honoring your existence and the life that is flowing through you as you breathe. You've been breathing this whole time. You've been listening, and maybe you've been aware of it and maybe you haven't. But what I would like for you to do is to come with me and do a very short meditation. So I want you to deep breath in and breathe out. When it comes to meditation, we often encourage you to close your eyes, and you can if you like, but you don't have to, because this is just honoring and being with the breath. Again, take a deep breath in and breathe out. Continue this practice of just breathing in and breathing out, and having a curiosity on what comes up for you. Just keep noticing the in-breath. Maybe your chest expands as you breathe in and breathe out. And just notice how your body deflates in whatever way that it deflates. And continue this practice. You're breathing in whatever way feels comfortable to you. I'm not here to instruct you. I'm here just to be with you as you are here just to be with the life that flows through you. And then you breathe out. Now, if for any reason your mind is having other thoughts or distracted, that's okay. The real work is just coming back to that breath and noticing it and observing how it changes your posture or your experience or your attention. You may want to do a gentle smile as you breathe in and out. Just noticing the life that flows in and out of you as you breathe. Now you're probably also noticing some heavy discomfort coming up, and here is where the work is. This is why I told you the story about my daughter, is because the real work is staying when it's hard and continuing to breathe in and breathe out. Not telling yourself that it's wrong or you shouldn't or it should be a different way. Just honoring that, yes, discomfort will arise and you're going to continue to breathe in and breathe out. Again, I'm going to repeat that because I know it's hard to stay on track. I know that we're super judgmental about our practice when we become in touch with ourselves. So I want you to practice non-judgment if for any reason you're not with us fully. Maybe you're not able to yet. Maybe it's too painful to fully be present, and that's okay. Just honor each breath as best as you can. If you go off track, just gently bring your attention back. Continue that breath in. And try to breathe out and soften anywhere where you feel resistance, you feel judgment, you feel discomfort. Really do the being with. As you breathe in and out, try to catch any thoughts around evaluating or calculating your experience here. Try not to calculate how productive you're being or your performance in any way. Just do the being with. Again, and breathe in the life and breathe out the life that comes with each breath. It's a beautiful thing. Again, continue breathing. Try not to label this practice as good or bad. Just notice that you're honoring yourself enough to actually spend time with you. And then take a deep breath in and breathe out. And slowly come back to me. Beautiful work. That's the work, you guys. That's it. It's free. It's always with you. You don't have to pack it in a bag. You don't have to make it look pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can do it while doing anything. You don't have to close your eyes. You can do it while you're driving. You can do it while taking a test. You could do one breath at a time. As you get better at this, you'll actually start to feel that even one breath, if you can really honor it, can be incredibly healing. Just taking and noticing and valuing and honoring that one breath. And then you go about your day. It's a beautiful practice. And what I would have you do after this meditation, or when you're listening to it, or maybe later today if you're driving, is just to sit down and do a quick inquiry of the thoughts that came up for you that pushed against this practice. Or maybe it's the sensations that came up for you that pushed against this practice. And I want you just to inquire. Don't judge them. Don't feel bad about them. We all have them. And just note them down. And as you do this practice, you might want to keep a journal of the things that keep getting in the way. Because again, the more aware we are of those, the less reactionary we get, right? So common ones that do come up if you're having a hard time coming up with some are the thought, this is a waste of time. And that is coming from decades and centuries of productivity that's been trained in us, right? That we have to go, go, go. That's why I told you the story about my daughter is I think that we've been trained and cloned and pushed towards trying to find the quick fix, right? How to get the most love with doing the less amount of work, or how to get the most mindfulness doing the least amount of work. And that's such a mistake. It's such a dilemma and delusion because, as we've talked about today, the best tool and the most important tool is actually the sitting with and the being with. You can't buy your way out of this. You can't tool your way out of this. You can't fix it. It's the being with that the healing happens. That's where it is. Another one is something along the lines of like, this is too hard. there has to be something easier or better, or, it's too hard. It shouldn't be this hard, right? And that's where we've got to come back again and catch that and say, what kind of human do you expect yourself to be? You're this fancy human who doesn't have bad feelings? Is that what you're thinking? That you're somehow immune to the human experience of having crappy feelings and real crummy experiences and thoughts that are bizarre and scary and ridiculous? No, we all have them. Don't kid yourself. Catch that if you can, right? That we as humans are all under the experience and umbrella of having and experiencing and living through really hard, scary, difficult, challenging things, right? And that's where we grow. Again, that's how we become stronger. That's how we get to trust ourselves more. That's where our worth comes in, when we can honor that. Some people actually in my office will share with me that they don't want to do this practice because it might bring upon some peace, and they don't feel like they deserve that peace because they had a certain thought or they did a certain thing in the past. We talked about that in the last podcast. Or there's something about them that they've stated or experienced or demanded that therefore, because of that event or that thought, that they don't deserve peace or their life doesn't deserve to be honored. I would catch that, because we have to be really careful of judgment and how we create stories on how a thought or a feeling or an event deems us undeserving. That's actually not true. And maybe what you could do is reach out to somebody and help you correct that, because it needs to be corrected. And the last one is that this isn't working. Yeah, that's probably the most common one I hear, right? It's but it doesn't work. It's not working. So this is stupid, right? It's dumb. Taking breaths, breathing, meditating, that's dumb. It doesn't work. And this is where I say often it's not its job. This breath that we're taking or this mindfulness practice that we're doing, it's not its job to make it go away. It's not its job to rid you of human difficult moments. They're there to help you get through difficult moments. They're there to help you find a ground when things are out of control and chaotic and all over the place. They're there to tether you down when you feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster. No matter what you're feeling, no matter where you are, no matter how hard it is, you have your breath. And the more time you spend with it, the more time you will have a mutual trust with each other, just like I talked about with my daughter. I'm not going to have a good relationship with her if I send her off with a nanny every day, even if the nanny's amazing. And even if the nanny says your mom loves you the whole day, it's still not going to compute. And if we ignore our breath, if we ignore our own experience and we try to push it down, it's not going to work. We're not going to build trust with ourselves. We're not going to build respect for ourselves. We're not going to create a peaceful place to reside. You're maybe listening to this in a different country. You're maybe listening to this in a different city. But the truth is, it doesn't matter where you live. We really reside in our body, in our breath. And that's where we have to build a safe place. It's as important, if not more, than the safe place around us. Right? The walls and the roof over our heads and the food that we feed ourselves, right? So there it is. The best free mindful tool is your breath. It's amazing. It's the most kick-ass tool you can get. And I hope that today has been a little twist on your understanding of mindfulness and bringing you back to base. I'm not saying it's better than, that you should only use it. We want to put it together in your tool belt. That's why this is called your anxiety toolkit, right? You've got to have lots of tools. But this is one that you don't need to put in your toolkit or your toolbox, because it's actually something within us, and that is your breath. So have a wonderful day. I hope you found that helpful. This is just another way for me to conceptualize the importance of slowing down and honoring and not pushing away uncomfortable feelings and thoughts and sensations and urges. So I hope you found it helpful, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you next week. Please note that this podcast or any other resources from cbtschool.com should not replace professional mental health care. If you feel you would benefit, please reach out to a provider in your area. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for supporting cbtschool.com.